We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
All right. Hey, welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300. We are back with a pretty darn cool guest.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm ready to learn. So new construction is something that I, as a lender, have dabbled in. I don't want to say that I'm a pro at it. I don't want to say that I don't know anything about it. It's a tough market from a lending and even real estate to kind of get into, but we do finance a ton of new construction.
Yeah.
You sell a lot of new construction, and we got a guy here that knows a lot about new construction.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So today on the show, we have the one and only Kevin Pierce. You like that intro right there?
I love it.
Anyone ever said the one and only Kevin Pierce?
I think that's a first.
All right, yeah. So he is the founder of Cascade Builder Services, and that is a third-party new construction warranty management company for home builders. Been in the business for over 10 years and worked on over 1,000 homes, so he only has a little bit of experience. Only kind of an expert. So what Cascade Builder Services provides is new home orientations with home buyers and manages all aspects of the builder's 1-year warranty. And he founded the company in 2008. And thank you very much for coming on the show today, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I guess, and I kind of teased it last segment, kind of explaining what it is you do. But why don't, in your own words, why don't you kind of explain what it is Cascade Builder Services does?
Sure. So we are a third-party warranty management company, as you mentioned. So essentially, we meet about a week prior to closing. We meet with home buyers and do the walkthrough process.
Perfect.
So we're going through the house, talking about orientation type things, how systems work, where the water shutoff valve is, where the gas shutoff valve is, what to do in emergencies. And then we're also providing the blue tape walk.
Yep. So why don't you explain what that is, since most people, even that are buying a new construction home, don't have any clue what that is.
Sure. So in addition to the orientation type things, we're going through the house and looking for any kind of damage. So paint touch-ups, scratches and floors, whatever might need to be fixed before they close on the house.
And so as a buyer, do I need to feel bad about putting a little piece of tape on every little thing throughout the home, or is that kind of what's expected?
I guess it depends on how much tape you're talking about. Sometimes we have buyers that are on their hands and knees and looking, for every little
super fine detail
pockmark they can find. But anything within reason. So we work off industry standards. If there's an obvious scratch in the wall that you can see standing 6 feet back from the wall, it's something that we'll tape and make sure the builder touches up before they move in.
So it's any scuffs on the wall, dents in a cabinet, fridge has a dent in the door or something on accident when they were installing it. Any of those types of things is what we're looking for.
Any kind of cosmetic damage. So you're buying a new house, it should be essentially new.
Yep.
Perfection is not a good word in the industry.
Yeah.
But within reason, it should be new.
Perfect.
Just like buying a car.
So then, after a year, do you come back out and do another walkthrough, or how does that process work?
So in addition to this orientation process, we also manage the 1-year warranty for the builder.
Okay.
Every builder we work for, I think pretty much every builder in the state, provides a 1-year workmanship and materials warranty. So after they close and they move in, they may start realizing there's some things that aren't quite working right, and that's where we come in. We set up an online account for each homeowner.
Oh, nice.
And they can log in at any time and submit warranty requests to us.
Sweet. So they don't have to worry about trying to hound someone down by phone calls and all that stuff. They're just quick, easy, online.
A one-stop shop.
Nice.
So they can ask questions through the messaging tab on there. They can submit warranty requests. And it's available 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So they can get in there. So our basic process is we do a 60-day evaluation, and then we do an 11-month evaluation.
Yeah.
So for items that aren't urgent, plumbing leak or an electrical issue or something like that, they'll hold their request until 60 days. And at that point, we come out, take a look, do another walkthrough with them, make sure that we're looking at what's maybe covered, what may be just a normal maintenance item, educating the buyer on or the homeowner on what we will be taking action on. And then we manage that for the builder as well. So approved items we're sending to the trade contractors and scheduling with the homeowners to make repairs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes the process simple for a homeowner at that point, or new buyer of new construction. just trying to make it easier, and then you're also making it easier on the builder.
That's right.
Because they don't have to worry about dealing with this stuff, and they can just focus on building the next home.
That's exactly right. They don't have to have staff, to come out and be a customer service rep. They can focus on the next project, as you've mentioned. They don't have to have their superintendents pulled off their job site to go take care of these little things.
Yeah, and they're always just little things, too. It's
Yeah.
not something that the superintendent, who is very knowledgeable, they shouldn't be the ones getting pulled in to do that kind of thing. But they're usually the face of the company,
Right.
so they're the ones that have to usually do it.
That's right.
So that's a brilliant
And they're
company
always
idea.
one of the busiest, too. So
Exactly.
getting their attention, that's
Right.
big. So let me just clarify for our listeners. This is a service that the builder would retain you versus the buyer, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, the builder
Good
partners with us.
clarification.
Yeah, and then we just provide our services for the full year.
Okay.
So it's a great thing. It works well, and the third party aspect is great as well because we're an unbiased third party. So we're not the builder coming back and having maybe a perceived bias there. We're just telling the homeowners we're making these determinations based off of the warranty and the industry standard, and we're neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you can then advise them too if they're being a little irrational on things too. You can be like, "Come on, man! I mean, it's a piece of carpet.
That's right.
It's a thread of carpet versus So just since we're on this topic, the 30 to 60 day walkthrough. What are the most common things that you guys that are brought to your attention or that homeowners see in the first 30 to 60 days?
In new construction, almost every single house, there's probably 3 categories of warranty requests that always pop up, and they're pretty much settling related.
Yeah, exactly.
We can say settling, we can say shrinkage. The materials kind of shrink throughout the first phase. We've got drywall cracking. So you're always going to see some drywall cracks develop, some more than others depending on when the house was framed. If it was framed during the winter and it got real wet, it's going to move and evaporate and shift a little bit more than a house that was framed when it was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
But you're going to see drywall cracks. You're going to see some nail pops work their way out. So that's very common. Grout, where the backsplash meets the counter, we always see some cracks there. So you'll start seeing those over the first couple months. Particularly these settling-related warranty requests, we do wait until the 11-month review.
Yeah,
so we do
because it's just going to get worse, or it's going to expand to even more. And if you fix it right now, it's just going to keep going.
You're going to see more, and there's various warranties that home builders purchase, and almost all of them, I'd say probably all of them, provide a one-time repair for it only. So if we're doing it early on at the 60-day, and then they see more cracking occur, they're not coming back again.
Interesting.
So we want to wait till the end of that 1 year and do them all at one time.
Yep. Which is why you do the 11-month, because you don't want to go 12-month because then it's over.
Yeah, you don't want to go past that expiration date. Yeah,
exactly. Smart. Yeah. So tell me how you got into the industry and why you kind of saw this gap and filled it with your company.
Sure. So I actually worked for a company that did the same type thing. They weren't quite as innovative as us. They didn't have the online accounts and everything, and that might have been more about the technology at the time.
Yeah.
But it was about 05, 06 when I worked for this company, and they were doing the third-party management basically. A little bit different, but that was it. When the crash occurred in 08, that's when they pretty much went under, and when I started this. I had to question myself: do I want to go find just a regular job somewhere, or I really like the business model here? Do I want to just kind of jump in and see if I can get it going?
Make it a little more innovative, make it easier, simpler, and
streamline everything, and then just get out there and try to start selling to builders, which is what I did. Got a couple contracts in 08, luckily, because builders were dropping like flies.
They were dropping like flies. I started in 2005, January 2005, so I know.
Yep. So it was tough. I got my foot in the door at one builder, and they stuck with me for the first couple of years. So that's what really allowed me to grow.
Paid your bills.
Yep. Paid my bills. I was just doing me doing it for the first couple of years. But it worked out. And then about 2012, the market started really picking back up. Builders started talking to each other more about our services. And we're currently at 29 builders that we work for. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We might be doing. I'm projecting probably next year about 500 homes we'll have enrolled at any given time.
Wow,
so it's really going well.
What do you think number of homes this year that you'd be helping out with?
This year, probably we're going to end up about 350.
Wow,
350.
Yeah, that's a lot of houses.
Yep. And there's five of us, so we're busy.
Yeah, you're very busy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess give me an idea of or maybe kind of explain to people that are considering buying a new home versus buying a house that was built 30 years ago or whatever. What's the difference, and is there any sort of ever walkthrough with that?
Sometimes, but not mostly. You're not going to get a walkthrough process with an existing home.
Yeah.
The big difference is the warranty.
Yep.
I don't think it's actually a state law in Washington to provide a 1-year workmanship and materials warranty like it is in like California.
Mm-hmm.
There is like habitability laws and things where you have to have heating and, the basics.
Mm-hmm.
But the workmanship and materials is more of a warranty that most builders provide on their own. But it is something that they have to because every builder's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. So you're not going to be left behind, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
When you buy new construction, you're going to get that guarantee that if something does fail, you're going to get it fixed.
Yep.
Versus
for an
if you're buying an existing home,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You do your house inspection, and it's like, yeah, it needs a roof, and this toilet. You flush it and it just keeps running and running and running. So
and then you got to call a plumber.
Exactly.
You can't call us or the builder.
So what's the most common question that you get from buyers? Maybe one or two common questions that you get.
Yeah, it's usually what's warranty and what's maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So very common maintenance things. Maintaining your sod.
Oh,
This is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
If new sod requires a lot of maintenance, watering, fertilizing, aeration, dethatching. When they're laying new sod down, it does not have a mature root system. It doesn't have a root system at all.
Yeah, you're just laying a piece of cut up grass, basically.
It's just sitting on top soil,
of a piece of dirt.
And it needs a lot of love to be able to mature up to a mature lawn.
Mm-hmm.
That can take 1 or 2 years even.
Wow.
And if you're not maintaining it and you're letting it die off in the dry weather, it's not going to develop that root system, and you're going to have drainage issues. So that's a big one.
Okay. So do you educate buyers on how to do it correctly then?
Yep, we do that up front. That's part of our walkthrough process. So it's going to be part of that orientation service that we do. When we're walking around outside, we're looking at the grass and explaining how much maintenance is involved and what kind of problems can have a result of not enough maintenance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
All right. Well, I know I got a bunch more questions. I'm sure Dan has some. He's been staying quiet this whole time. So we got to take a quick break. Stay tuned for more from Kevin Pierce of Cascade Builder Services right after the break.
Stay tuned. There's more Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. We are joined yet again with the one and only, as I said earlier, Kevin Pierce of Cascade Builder Services.
Second time in my life.
Second time he's ever heard that, and he's still the one and only. He's the man.
Yeah, he's bringing some gold today.
He's bringing a ton of gold. Yeah. Builders, if you're watching or listening, you really should consider him. And that's not just me saying that because I get something out of it, because I don't.
Yep.
But I can hear it I hear it a lot from the buyers that I help, because I'm a real estate agent. From the buyers that buy new construction, they love the house leading up to it. Mm-hmm. Love the construction, love the craftsmanship. Builder was great in the walkthrough, and then after the fact, getting them to come out and patch that nail pop or the grout at the countertop and the backsplash that cracked. And it is a pain, and that's where you completely lose everything that you built up to that point, reputation-wise. You've lost it at that point because, unfortunately, that's what the buyers remember. Well, even though 99.9% of the house has already been completed and you've done a great job, they remember that you never came out and it was a pain. And that's where Kevin and Cascade Builder Services can definitely help out.
Yeah, you've built a great product. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
And then reputation. We're small business owners. Reputation is key. And then one small ball being dropped at the end can ruin it all. We've seen it a lot.
Yep.
So the first segment was spending a lot of time showing the benefits to a potential home buyer
Exactly.
that was building a new home.
Yep.
I'm listening between the lines, if you will, reading between the lines while you guys were talking during that first episode. And as a small business owner myself, lights are going off going, man, this is massive value to a builder. So
exactly.
Kevin, why don't you kind of just in your words, give us the main benefits of your services to a builder?
Yeah, absolutely. As Christian mentioned, I mean, preserving the reputation and making sure that feel-good feeling prior to closing continues all the way through the first year. The builders spend so much time and effort making sure that their buyers are happy and the house looks great and they love it and the closing process works. And then it can all fall apart during the first year if you're not following up and providing great customer service.
And you know how many times I hear about that? A lot.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's really unfortunate because I know the builders are doing a really good job. And obviously the house is a great house. But you're going to get nail pops. You're going to get these stupid little things that pop up.
Right.
If you're not responsive and you're, as a builder, aren't going out there and fixing it, that's all really the buyer. That's the last impression. And that's the lasting impression as well.
That's
right.
And
it really, it's too bad because some of the good builders are getting kind of bad reputations because of that.
It's absolutely true. And a big challenge after closing for builders is the amount of time that they have to spend chasing down their trade contractors that did the work.
Which makes sense because the tradesmen, they already got paid.
Right.
They're done.
Yep.
They don't want to have to come back and deal with this. And they figure, if I just keep not responding to these phone calls and messages, I won't have to do it.
That's right.
But
and the builder can kind of give up and leave the homeowner, in limbo. And we're the ones who are going to keep that persistency going.
Yeah.
So how do you guys do that? What do you do that maybe a builder doesn't have the time for?
So just persistency. We have office personnel that are calling or emailing every day if we need to.
You basically hire ex-collection people. And hey, get out there.
Similar
Loan
attitude with a lot of these trade contractors, actually.
Maybe you need to hire one. Maybe that would be a good person.
Well, let me ask you this. Are there conversations that you have with these trade contractors up front, or the builder does that and say, hey, listen, we are retaining Kevin and his company to, carry this out?
So we every chance we get, we push to have builders trade up their trades because we work with, hundreds and hundreds of trades through, the 29 builders that we currently work for. We know the good ones.
Yeah.
So when we're getting in with new builders, we're looking at their trade lists and just saying, hey, have you thought about using these guys instead? And of course, there's a balance there with how much they charge.
The cost and what you get. I mean, that's always the balance.
Yep. There's several builders, that are all about saving that dollar. And then they're hurting on the other end when they want to come back for that follow-up on warranty. So that's a tough one to balance. So we certainly understand the saving money part.
Yeah. Well,
but
it's a business.
If you want referrals and you want to sell more homes later on, you got to have happy homeowners. Yeah.
And I'm sure they're saving long term. I'm sure a builder would save by maybe hiring somebody that you don't necessarily recommend, because it's cheaper,
right?
But by hiring you instead to hound them, to
get
it done,
sure they get
the end of the day, they're actually probably still coming out ahead.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Well, you and I both know with obviously our presence on Yelp, how powerful reputation is, how powerful social proof is. And so I know for a fact that it works the same way with builders. So no, I see the massive value from the accountability, keeping, I don't want to call them subs, but you call them trades,
subs.
keeping them accountable.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it's also, I mean, as a builder, if they don't hire you, what are they normally doing? How does that process work? If they're dealing with it themselves, how does that?
Oftentimes, it's just their superintendents. They're going out and trying to hound the trades because, of course, the superintendents know the trades already from building the house, but they just typically don't have the time
or the bandwidth to handle that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yeah. So you're saving these builders time, tons of time. It sounds like you're adding value to their business by keeping the reputation.
Yeah, you're
at the top of the
preserving
charts,
that reputation big time.
Yeah.
Because it's, again, I can't reiterate it enough. Builders, pay attention to this because if you're, and the video stopped, cool. If you're not hiring this and you're losing it kind of that last second after the home is closed, I mean, it's just kind of, you're ruining your whole reputation and it's not hard. It's just a little deal.
Yep.
So,
so you want to, Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say the third thing there, not only are we providing this value for builders, but we're making the process easier for homeowners. So they don't have to have just a list of trades or even just a builder contact number to call.
That's usually all it is. Yeah.
We have this, we kind of touched on this in the first segment, but we have our My Home page is what we call it. So our homeowners can log in anytime, keep a track of any of their warranty requests. Maybe they're not quite at their 60-day yet, but they want to log in and keep track of something they noticed in their master bedroom and something they noticed outside. They can log it in there and keep everything going. And then at the 60-day, it's all there and we can review everything. And then we have the communication through there is great. The messaging tab. So instead of using, just Gmail or a third-party email service, we funnel everything through the My Home page.
Nice. So it's all there.
Builders can log in and see all of their homeowners and see what they're submitting for warranty, how we're communicating with their homeowners on the messaging tab, what's scheduled with their trade contractors. We have a full calendar there that shows all of the scheduled appointments. So it's a great benefit.
It's a huge benefit. I mean, as a home owner, if I were buying and owning a new construction house, especially here in Seattle where we're so tech savvy, that would be
no-brainer.
It would it's a no-brainer rather than texting or emailing or whatever and then forgetting about it because I'm busy. I don't want to have to keep track of that. If I know, okay, I just have to log it in once. It's there. There's a track record. And it's going to be dealt with at some point.
Well, I'm looking at this, too, from a builder standpoint, and I'm writing notes as you were talking. Can the builder, do you relay that information, what's in the log, or can the builder log in? That's huge. The builder can actually say, okay, hey, the Smiths, have noted this, this, and this. Okay, I got this. It's no big deal. That's
fine.
They
can use this also for a root cause. So if they can come in and see maybe which trade contractors are having consistent problems throughout all their homes. They can see this information and really use the data to further benefit themselves
in the long run.
Yeah.
Wow, Kevin, I can see just massive value from both sides of the fence, the buyer and the builder. It's huge. It's great stuff. I kind of want to transition out of this into kind of some misconceptions. So what are some of the common misconceptions that people have about new construction?
I would say one of the biggest ones that we come across is not really understanding what's warranty versus what's maintenance. Okay. There's a lot of homeowner maintenance that is just required of them that isn't something that's covered under warranty. Warranty is for deficiencies. These are for systems that have failed or things that aren't quite working as the way they really should. So there's this difference here. Some examples of homeowner maintenance. You have maybe fences or decking that requires consistent sealants. Maybe once a year, once every 2 years, depending on the product you're using. But it's an ongoing, yearly, consistent thing that you're gonna have to do to keep your deck looking nice. Something the builder's not going to do under warranty.
And you talk with your home buyers about kind of home maintenance, or maybe give them kind of a handout, or maybe it's in their portal.
Yeah, actually, good. Thanks for bringing that up. We provide a homeowner manual.
Oh, cool.
It's available. So part of that My Home page is also a documents tab. It's kind of a file storage locker. We upload a few default docs on a per builder basis. One of them is the homeowner manual. There's 25 pages in there on homeowner maintenance. So it talks about basically every section of the home, what is maintenance, what is warranty. So it's a very good resource.
So that probably stops a lot of questions up front that a lot of buyers end up having. Interesting.
So we can always
again saving your builder more time.
Exactly.
The phone calls into the office. Hey, what about this?
That's right.
Super valuable.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's very, very good info.
Well, one of the things that I think you already hit on was the whole settling issue. We've built, we've remodeled, we bought new construction. Our first house that we bought, my wife and I, in 2004 was a new build by a big builder, which was kind of a mistake, but we won't get into that. But the settling, and our misconception when we bought the house, because we had the tile countertops and the tile backsplashes that, it just kept settling and it kept cracking and it kept separating. And our misconception was that this is a crappy builder. It was a crappy sub that installed the countertops. And what you were saying earlier is, and this is where you would come into play to say this is not bad construction. This is typical.
Yep.
So talk a little bit more about settling as we kind of wrap up today.
Yeah, so settling is kind of a scary word sometimes to homeowners. They think settling means their foundation is sinking into the ground.
Exactly what they
think. Isn't typically the case. Settling isn't really what the verbiage we want to use. Shrinkage is more of what's happening.
When I hear that word, I think of Seinfeld. I'm sorry. I think of George Costanza. Anyways, keep going, man.
Yeah,
you said it twice, and I'm just trying to do the best I had to say. Okay.
I was questioning whether I wanted to use
it's
that.
Good. It's awesome. We need a laugh.
Radio here. So the materials shrink after you install them. New materials shrink. The grout is shrinking a little bit. You do have a little bit of that settling that does occur, but most of it is the shrinkage and the movement of the home. As we kind of touched on this in the first segment too. If you frame a house when it's wet, all of that moisture is going to evaporate throughout the first year, and when the process happens, you're going to have some movement.
Good.
You'll have the grout cracks that you're talking about. You'll have the drywall cracks and nail pops, and then door adjustments.
Okay. Yep. Big one. All the normal stuff.
Yep.
So, Kevin, how can people get a hold of you if they wanted to, as a builder, if they wanted to?
As a builder, absolutely. CascadeBuilderServices.com. There's a quote form right on the front page there. You can scroll to the bottom and get a quote from us.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We got to take a break.
There's more Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.